Let's be clear from the beginning, this is not about violence, revenge, or cruelty. This is about power. This is about mastering the psychological battlefield where shame is used as a weapon and learning how to neutralize it so completely that it collapses in the hands of the one who tried to use it against you. Shame is one of the oldest tools of control. Long before chains and prisons, there was humiliation. If someone could make you feel small, guilty, or exposed, they could rule you without lifting a finger. Machiavelli understood this well. Power is not only about force, it is about perception. So if someone shames you, they are not attacking your character, they are attacking your position. Understand the game. Shame is a power move. No one shames someone they believe is beneath them. Shame is always directed upward or sideways, never downward. People shame those who threaten them, outshine them, or remind them of what they are not. When someone tries to shame you, they are saying, "I want authority over you. I want you to submit. I want you to explain yourself." Your first victory is not reacting emotionally. Machiavellian rule number 1, he who controls emotion controls the situation. The moment you defend yourself desperately, you lose status. The moment you over-explain, you signal weakness. The moment you become angry, you confirm their power over you. Silence, calm, and composure are not weakness, they are dominance. Detach emotionally, become unshameable. You cannot be shamed if you do not accept the frame. Shame only works when you accept their moral authority. You accept their definition of right and wrong. You believe their opinion defines your worth. Machiavelli would say, never accept an enemy's narrative. Instead, detach. Observe them like a strategist, not a victim. Ask yourself, why do they need me to feel small? What insecurity is this exposing? What do they gain if I collapse? When you see shame as a tactic, not a truth, its power dissolves. An unshameable person is terrifying because they cannot be controlled. Reverse the frame, turn the spotlight back on them. This is where Machiavellian psychology becomes surgical. You do not argue, you do not explain, you reframe. When someone shames you publicly, they expect apology, defense, emotional reaction. Instead, respond with calm curiosity or indifference. Examples. That's an interesting perspective. You seem very invested in this. Why does this matter so much to you? These responses do one thing brilliantly. They shift attention from you to them. Now they are exposed. Now they look emotional. Now they look insecure. In public dynamics, the one who remains calm while others react becomes the alpha presence. Control your reputation, not their opinion. Machiavelli warned against trying to be loved or morally approved by everyone. That is a fool's strategy. Instead, he advised managing reputation. Here is the secret. People don't remember accusations. They remember who appears confident afterward. If someone shames you and you continue to, act disciplined, speak calmly, live consistently, improve, visibly their attack collapses on its own. Time is ruthless to liars and critics. Consistency is lethal to shame. Never chase validation. Let results speak. Strategic distance. Remove their access to you. One of the most powerful Machiavellian moves is withdrawal of access. Shamers feed on reaction. They feed on proximity. They feed on emotional engagement. When you reduce access, you starve their ego. You remove their leverage. You elevate your value. Distance is not avoidance. It is strategic positioning. People respect what they cannot easily reach. Transform shame into cold power. Here is the final and most dangerous step. Use shame as fuel, not poison. Machiavelli admired those who could turn insult into momentum. Let shame sharpen you. Become more disciplined, more controlled, more strategic, more successful. Nothing destroys a shamer more completely than your visible rise. No confrontation. No revenge. Just elevation. Success reframes the past. Power rewrites the story. Final truth. You do not destroy someone who shames you by attacking them. You destroy them by becoming unshameable, refusing their frame, maintaining composure, controlling perception, and rising beyond their reach. Machiavellian psychology teaches this brutal truth. The strongest response to humiliation is not rage, but superiority. And superiority is silent. When they realize they no longer affect you, when their words no longer move you, when your life speaks louder than their voice, the weapon they aimed at you turns inward. And without ever touching them, you win. Shame is a weapon, not a truth. Shame is never accidental. It is deliberate, it is calculated, and most importantly, it is strategic. When someone tries to shame you, they are not expressing morality, they are attempting control. Shame is one of the oldest psychological weapons in human history, used to bend behavior without force. Machiavelli understood this clearly. Power operates best when it disguises itself as virtue. No one shames someone they see as irrelevant. Shame is directed at those who matter, those who threaten status, expose insecurity, or refuse submission. The moment you understand this, the emotional sting begins to fade. You are not being attacked because you are weak. You are being attacked because you are perceived as significant. The trap is reaction. Defending yourself emotionally hands authority to your attacker. Explaining yourself signals dependence on their approval. Anger confirms that they have touched something vulnerable. In power dynamics, the first person to lose emotional control loses position. Your goal is not to argue. Your goal is to stay sovereign. Machiavellian psychology teaches that the battlefield is perception. The one who appears calm, unmoved, and centered instantly rises in status. Shame only functions when accepted. When rejected calmly, it collapses. Understand the move. See the tactic. Detach from the insult. The moment shame becomes something you observe rather than feel, the power shifts. Quietly, but completely. Become unshameable. Emotional detachment. As dominance, you cannot be shamed unless you accept the moral frame of the person attacking you. Shame requires agreement. It requires you to believe that their judgment defines your worth. Machiavellian thinkers reject this completely. Detachment is not indifference, it is control. When someone attempts to shame you, pause internally and ask, why does this person need authority over me? What insecurity is being exposed here? This shift alone dismantles their leverage. You are no longer inside the emotion, you are above it, observing the game. Unshameable people are terrifying to manipulators. They cannot be pressured, cornered, or emotionally blackmailed. Their stillness creates imbalance. Their calm becomes a mirror in which the attacker sees their own instability. This does not require arrogance or hostility. It requires discipline. The discipline to not react immediately. The discipline to let silence do the work. Silence forces the aggressor to fill the space, and they usually do it poorly. Machiavelli warned against emotional transparency. Those who reveal their inner reactions hand over strategic information. Emotional detachment protects your position. It keeps your power internal, not exposed. When you stop seeking validation, shame loses oxygen. At that moment, you are no longer playing defense. You are controlling the frame. Reverse the frame without confrontation. Here is where true Machiavellian skill emerges. You do not counterattack. You reframe. Shamers expect three things: apology, explanation, or emotional reaction. When you give none of these, the psychological script breaks. Calm curiosity or neutral acknowledgement forces the spotlight back onto them. Simple responses are devastating. That's an interesting interpretation. You seem very invested in this. Why does this concern you so much? These are not insults. They are positioning tools. They subtly suggest that the emotional imbalance belongs to the other person, not you. In public settings especially, composure equals authority. The crowd subconsciously aligns with the person who appears stable. The attacker begins to look reactive, obsessive, or insecure. Their attempt to shame you becomes their own exposure. Machiavelli understood crowds deeply. He knew perception outweighs truth. When you stay calm, you appear confident. When you appear confident, your credibility rises, regardless of the accusation. Never argue on the attacker's terms. Never accept their emotional urgency. By refusing their frame, you force them into yours, and in your frame, you are untouchable. Reputation beats argument every time. One of Machiavelli's most brutal insights was this: do not waste energy trying to be morally approved. Approval is unstable. Reputation, however, is durable. When someone shames you, the instinct is to correct the record. This is a mistake. Arguments fade. Behavior remains. People do not remember accusations. They remember who stood firm afterward. If you continue to move with discipline, consistency, and visible growth, the attack loses credibility on its own. Time exposes exaggeration. Consistency destroys gossip. Silence paired with progress is lethal to critics. Machiavellian psychology focuses on outcomes, not debates. Let your actions contradict the narrative. Let your composure speak louder than defense ever could. The more you chase approval, the more you appear dependent. The less you react, the more your status solidifies. Power does not explain itself, it demonstrates. This is why restraint is dangerous. It confuses opponents. It denies them satisfaction. It forces observers to reevaluate who actually holds authority. In the long run, reputation outlives noise. And those who tried to shame you are quietly forgotten, while you remain. Starve them and rise. The final move every shamer feeds on access. Access to your attention. Access to your emotions. Access to your time. Remove access, and the entire dynamic collapses. Strategic distance is not avoidance. It is withdrawal of fuel. When you reduce engagement, responses, and emotional availability, you elevate your value. What becomes harder to reach becomes more respected. What stops reacting becomes more powerful. Machiavelli understood scarcity. Power grows where access is limited. The less available you are to manipulators, the more control you regain. But the final move is transformation. Use the experience as pressure, not poison. Channel it into discipline. Improve your skills. Strengthen your presence. Elevate visibly. Nothing dismantles a shamer more completely than your rise. No confrontation, no revenge, no explanation, just growth. Success reframes the past. Authority silences critics. Power rewrites the story without ever speaking. In Machiavellian terms, this is total victory. Your enemy becomes irrelevant and you become untouchable. Because the strongest response to shame is not anger, it is superiority in silence. And silence, backed by power, always wins.